Evolution versus manipulation. I'm not sure if this is my original thought or my subconscious has taken this from listening to something else, but I can't pinpoint anyone else saying this other than myself. So if you've heard this before, then fair enough. But to me, for some reason, I think this is an original thought from myself. So when it comes to evolution versus manipulation, I'm here to tell you that being frugal, being intentional with your spending, and focusing your money on on your rich life is an evolutionary trait that we were created as humans to follow. So that frugality, if we think back to the days where we were hunter-gatherers, do you really think that we went around taking all the food, consuming all the food, gluttony I think they call it, just eating all the food and just being fat and sassy and just hanging out with our belly out and just being couch potatoes? Absolutely not. We had to be frugal. Through evolution, humanity had to be frugal. They had to plan ahead. They had to get food, they had to ration food, and they had to assign food to each other and make sure that humanity survived. So frugality is based on evolution. And I genuinely believe this is real. When it comes to frugality, at a certain point in my life, I realized the journey of frugality. I realized that wanting everything compared to wanting nothing, it was so much easier to want nothing and be frugal. So the actual fact, I remember the exact moment when I realized that wanting nothing is easier than wanting everything. And my shoulders and the pressure that was taken off of my shoulders when I heard this saying, and I realized that being frugal is easier than wanting everything. Because before this moment, before this exact second when I realized this, I wanted everything too. I wanted the big mansion, I wanted the fancy cars, I wanted the fancy clothes, I wanted to travel the world, I wanted all of these things. And this was all based on manipulation. I'm telling you, this story is about evolution versus manipulation. My entire life was manipulated through marketing and consumerism. It was market. This is everyone. Everyone is in this mindset and everyone is marketed to. And I was the same until I realized that frugality and wanting nothing, being content and practicing gratitude and understanding what is important in my life to live my fulfilling rich life. The exact second I realized that, my shoulders dropped, a weight fell off of my shoulders, a humongous weight fell off of my shoulders of all the things that I was told that I wanted had fallen off of my shoulders and I no longer needed it. And when I felt that, I knew there was something different. I knew there was something special. What was it about this frugality? And it was years and years later, I was sitting and thinking about this, thinking about frugality and hunter-gatherers. I think I was actually reading the book called Sapiens at the time, and they were talking about hunter-gatherers in that book. And it made me realize that actually frugality is part of our human evolution. It's probably only in the last 100 to 200 years where manipulation, consumerism, and marketing has kicked in and convinced us that we want everything. And our human brain is not ready for that. It's not ready for it. So stick on the side of the evolution. Be human. Be a Homo sapien. Be a human the way you were evolved to be a human. And realize and self-reflect what is important in your own life. Intentionally focus on those areas. Do not let manipulation convince you out of this human trait that's been extremely important in our evolution and our survival. What you actually find is it makes you feel good. That frugality, it makes you feel good, because I think that's how we were created. So do not let manipulation, marketing, and consumerism take over your life. Self-reflect what is important to you and stick to frugality and intentional spending. Be a human, be a Homo sapien.